Well, good afternoon, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And today is Wednesday, the 27th of August, 2025. And I'm at what is our new residence. My wife and I have dubbed this the lake house, since we sit off about 3/4 of a mile, half a mile from Lake Livingston. We're right off of US Highway 190 and Onalaska, Texas. Sits right in the middle of Livingston, Texas to the east and Huntsville, Texas to the west. And it's one of those places that you've got to be wanting to get to it, because there's no other way to get to it than US 190. Anyway, 4 days of whiskers. 4 days of whiskers. Let me tell you something. My wife can work me. My wife knows how to work me. And I said, you got to let me shave. You got to let me shave. No, I'm not giving you the time off to shave. So we're up at 6:30. We're working until 7, 8 o'clock at night. We're just about done. The house is up for sale. We've settled on a realtor. The realtor thinks he can sell the house at near market value. Anyway, there's a whole lot of backstory there. Well, the real premise of the story is that the reason I'm no longer a long-haul truck driver is because my company went out of business and they laid all the truck drivers off. And, a couple Mondays ago, I had my 66th birthday, and it's hard to find a job unless you're willing to, at my age and experience level, go right to the very bottom. They'll give you the money for your years of experience. They'll give you top level wage, but they have no consideration for the trucks that they give you, the routes that they want to put you on. And my wife said, it's all right. It's all right. So I'm effectively retired at this juncture. I still feel guilty sleeping in the morning, or better yet, not getting up and going to work somewhere. I got some nice Tibetan flute music playing. It says it's ad-free, but we shall see. We shall see. Let's go over the equipment for today. I love this razor. The Boker 14er. The Boker 14er, look at that. That's a 1-inch razor, beautiful gold, etching on looks like gear wheels on the face of the blade. It says, I guess that's Einri Boker Company, Bumwork. I can't read that German stuff. Almani? Oh man, I can't, the scale gets in the way. And speaking of it, it's got nice, beautiful etching work on the spine. And then the scales are this beautiful translucent blue. And so I may throw some pictures in about what we've been doing. Actually, really very proud of what we've been able to retreat to. We bought several lots of land, and the advantageous or the attractive thing about the land was that they already had the services: city water, sewer, electricity, natural gas already coming into the property, but it was all overgrown. So we had to bring in people to clear the land, bring in the mobile home, and then the building additions that we have done since we've been here. We've built a very nice front and back porch. almost enough space to add a couple of rooms on those porches. And like I said, I'll put some pictures in. And anyway, that was the brush, or excuse me, the blade straight razor. And then I'm going to use the Simpson Chubby 3 Manchurian Badger imitation or faux horn here. I'm going to put that back in the water to soak. I'm not using the sink here in the bathroom. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. It's incommodious for me. I don't even know how you operate the plug in the bottom of the sink. You push down on it to close it, and logically you would think you push down on it again for it to open, but that ain't the way it's been working. And I've had to stick a pocket knife down in there to pry it up, and it pops up. Anyway, all right, so that, and now the soap, Sterling Soap Company's Agar is what I will be using today. And had a nice hot shower. I got up a little late this morning, about 9 o'clock. I made a run. It's 18 miles from here to Livingston. My wife said, I want you to go to Livingston this morning. I've got some stuff for you to pick up at Lowe's Home Improvement. And there really isn't a lot here. There's a couple of hardware stores. There's a Sonic. There's several little restaurants. It's really kind of a retirement and tourist town. And it's like one fella said, it's a town for the rich and the famous, or those that are trying to seek cover from the police. Well, I don't know about that, but that's what he said. There's not a lot of opportunities for employment. And so that's why my wife said, let's just call you retired. So call me retired. Although I'm working hard for me, working hard for my wife and me. And that's fine. This could be a fun shave with 4 days of whiskers. Uh-oh, that won't do. Commercial. But I'll have to go back and edit that part out, or I will take the copyright hit. I don't know why it would say commercial fee. I'll be right back. Yeah, we'll try that. Now my Boker 14er, you may remember a couple of Mondays back on the 18th was my birthday. And my wife said I could have the day off. That didn't last long. But I did take a few minutes I spent about 20 minutes taking the Boker back to the, I'm on camera.
Oh.
Go ahead, what?
Where's the white zip ties at that we had for the fence?
Well, I don't know.
The dogs got out.
The dogs got out?
Yeah.
Do you need any?
No.
Okay.
I just need the zip tie.
I have no idea yet. Dogs got, I guess you got them. But they don't go far. We've had them running loose on the property. That's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Oh yeah, it feels good and thick. Good. That feels just fine. Well, I put on some relaxing music again, and it says plainly no ads, so we will see. So, having said that, I don't use the sink here. I don't like it. It's incommodious, to say the least. I got one of my wife's mixing bowls. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna go with that. And just a little plastic Rubbermaid thing. Little, I say. No, it's a pretty good size, about, I'd say it's a good 9 to 12 inches across and deep. One of the considerations for not going back to work was that my back has just been, for quite some time now, a year maybe, hurting. I've got hip, both of them, but especially my right hip, left hip, right side of my lower back vertebrae hurting. And even to the point of, if I don't sit right, if I don't stand right, my legs go numb. And that is most concerning. All right, here we go. Boker, 4 days growth. I'm expecting very great things from this razor. So far, so good. It just feels like it's just mowing them down. And this, when I said I did about 20 minutes on it, on the honing, on the refresh, I wouldn't even call it refresh. Dan's Arkansas True Hard. And that's the gray, black, and white variegated color that I've got. Absolutely beautiful. Out here in the country, I'm half expecting the dogs, because dogs have been, over the last couple of years, have been transitioning into being outside dogs, and which suits me fine. And but the risk to that here is snakes. I haven't seen any snakes. I have no reason to believe that snakes, except it's Southeast Texas. And of course there's snakes here. Copperheads, rattlesnakes. And if you're very close to water, may very well have cottonmouths. And of course we're close to water, next to within a half mile or so of Lake Livingston. That is a wooded area. Well, I guess everything's okay. I hear her knocking about. And so we're getting the patio fixed up. We're going to prepare the back patio. We're preparing a place for me to have a shaving station with a full-size sink and a full-size mirror. and I'm looking forward to it. All I can do is just say we're planning it. We'll see what it looks like. But my wife said, and we've already ran electricity to the back porch, and now it's water. We're going to get. It may be a little bit, but we're going to get some water. Okay, progressing on. I got an email from Shapton? No. Sterling, sorry. Just within the last couple of days that they're having their end of season closeout sale on some of their scents and soaps. Go take a look at their lineup and see what they've got on sale. So today was mostly about unpacking and burning the boxes. And so I've got two 55-gallon drum burn barrels out back, and they're getting pretty. We burn a lot of stuff in there. Mostly paper and wood with all the work that we're doing. I've got all kinds of scrap wood available. Okay, there we go with all of that you just saw was what I call a little bit of overlap. It's what I call the first pass with the grain, and I hope you enjoyed watching that as much as I enjoyed whacking off those 4 days of whiskers. And so the second pass, now all of that with the grain was with the grain. My first pass is a with the grain, and I do that more or less deliberately. It's easier to cut with the grain. It takes the tops off, takes the majority of the whisker away, thus making it easier for the second and third pass across the and against the grain. I'll tell you too, if I really am retired and I make this bit of a shaving station I'm going to make on the back porch, I'm going to spend more time honing, covering different essential steps and elements of the process, from the shave, the honing, the stropping, and any other essential I can think of. All right, across the grain. We're going to start from the ear and come toward the mouth. And there's nothing new here. You've seen me do this literally 400 plus times on video. My basic strokes have not changed. I've been saying this next little bit, I've been saying this from the beginning of doing videos and learning as I was going. And I'm a big believer in the stretching of the skin, getting those whiskers to pop up and stand up, making them more susceptible, cutting them off at the lowest possible point. It just feels wonderful. As you might imagine, from moving, we still have boxes all over the house and things in pretty much disarray. But step by step, box by box. And I will say too that I've pretty much given up caring, about what happens. My retirement plans have come 4 years early, and that is quite a shock. To the system, my system. And not just my system, but all my well-laid plans have come to nothing and are crashing about my head. Oh well. Sorry, I lost my job and I'm 66 years old and I don't feel good. What do you want me to do? Oops. Big old wad of lather fell on my shirt. Well, that scent will be on my shirt all night. All right, so that was the first half. Notice it was left hand across the grain from the ear to the center. And now we're going to do right hand from the ear to the center on my left side. Well, I can hear the dogs yapping outside. Well, technically, those are against the grain strokes, but that's me cheating. All right. So now it's time for against the grain, pass number 3. And so it's not the number of strokes, and I've had some controversy about this. One pass. If I'm doing with the grain from top to bottom, and I may hit a spot 4, 5, 6 times, that's not 4, 5, 6 passes. A pass is a designation for the kind of stroke that you're doing, namely with the grain. And so if you're doing it with the grain, it's synonymous with first pass. Not the number of strokes, not the number of times that you move the blade across your face. No, that's just a stroke. That's not a pass. A pass is nomenclature, is language, verbiage, terminology to refer to where you're at in the shave, what kind of pass you're doing. So if you're doing with the grain, you're doing your first pass, presumably, if that's how you designate it. Some people do across the grain as their first pass, regardless of the number of strokes that they take or engage in to get it done. Well, I've signed up for Medicare and waiting for it to all come through so I can get with the representative that's going to get me signed up for Medicare Advantage. All right, here we go, beginning with against the grain. Now, one of the things I'm trying to cut, normally I would attack the right side of my face with my left hand. And that would look something like this. And what you just saw there is the way that I have begun my against the grain from bottom to top for years. Done it like that for years. Well, I'm trying to eliminate that particular stroke, maybe kind of combine it up a little bit with what I'm about to show you. right hand beginning in the center, and then use my overhand stroke on the right side I try to be very careful when I do that, up through the mouth and the lip here, up onto the upper lip. I'm laying the angle of my blade is, I'm tilted to the front side of the apex, and I'm feeling the spine more maybe than the actual apex of the edge against my skin. So I was feeling the spine down in this area. Yeah. All the things we do. Okay, that feels pretty good right there. All right. Let's give it a wipe down. Check the sideburns. Do a couple of final strokes. Apparently, I did not get as high up as I wanted to on my against the grain, because I try to even up my line there on my sideburns, or on this side in particular. Well, both of them, but with that the bottom of the earlobe, with the bottom of the ear notch, right there. All right, let's. Yeah, I was afraid I might have caught myself right there. All right, that does it for the face shave. And I got that other spot right down here too. One here, I think that one was already there, but not happy about that. All right, now for my head shave, I've used this razor many times, and I think here just recently I got it on camera, and that is my No Name Sheffield. I'm going to go ahead and stick it up here, but there's just the slightest bit where it's I can't even see it right now, but I had it under a microscope and I could make out the ELD, or not the full word for field, F-I-E-L-D, but I could make out the I-E-L-D or the E-E-L-D. Sheffield. What else could it be, right? Sheffield. And so it was one of my very, very early purchases in August, September 2015. I'm moving slow here, and I apologize, but my hips hurt, my back hurts. And I'm just taking my pleasure, my leisure. This is for me, and I'm glad you're along. It ain't for you, but I'm glad you're along. And I know some of the guys, it takes more than 15, 20 minutes. But I'm not worried about the time. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. And I do appreciate those of you that do hang around. And you tell me, and I appreciate that too. All right, I'm just going to go with that. All right, No Name Sheffield. Probably, I don't remember, but probably a conical edge on that. One of the hardest things I've had to do with this move, two things: furniture. All of our very nice furniture we're having either to sell or give away. And you'd be amazed at how there's not much of a market for that kind of furniture on resale, which just shocks me. That here in the Houston area, Star Furniture is one of the big name furniture. That's where we bought all of our new furniture when we bought the new house 7 years ago. And of course, it's just my wife and I, and the furniture remains in excellent condition from its original new condition. But listing it up for sale and doing the, not yard sale, but garage sale and all that stuff. But the neighborhood that we live in is not exactly what you would call low rent. But still, it was. We did sell a few pieces. None of the sets, none of the suites, ensuite, whatever. Master bedroom furniture did not sell. The office furniture did not sell. And I'm telling you, this is high-end stuff. Very nice stuff from Star Furniture 7 years ago. And I'll tell you something else. It's not just that it didn't sell. There weren't a lot of people that came by to even take a look. Anyway, that was one of the, and so having to give it away, virtually give it away, and in some cases actually give it away, was heartbreaking, knowing how, because we just didn't have room for it here in our current situation, in our new situation. And the other thing was my books from the time that I was a pastor, and theological research books and sermon outline books and that kind of stuff. At one point, and this is the second time I've had to cut out a bunch of books. And at one time, at the height of my library, I had over 2,000 volumes to a theological library. And this time I've oh, never fear, I still got 6 bookcases full of books. Floor to ceiling, so wide, about 24 inches wide, approximately 24 to 30 inches. And it's not just my hips and back. It's my shoulders. You'd be surprised, my right shoulder especially, just how hard it is and painful to raise it over my head. So I got a big backyard. I've got scrap lumber pieces burning. I've got boxes burning. And all I need is a patch of tomatoes and change my name to Vito Corleone. And you can kind of anticipate how things will end for me. It's been approximately, what, 3 days? Well, my last show, 4 days. 4 days since my last haircut. That's pretty good. All right. Going for the back of my neck now. That's 4 days. That's what 4 days looks like off of the back of my neck. Now going against the grain. Okay. Well, I think that about does it. Let's move along to the end of shave refinements. Get the brush in the water and let it start soaking, and so I got the lather pushed out of the brush mostly. All right, so let's and the reason I'm doing that is because you still got some good stuff. Whatever it is they put in that soap. And we're using Ozma alum block as our first step in refinement. Oh, that's amazing. And for an Arkansas stone to give that smooth, now I'm going to get a little something over here, but not much, not as much as I might have thought. All right. Now I do this little wipe here to remove as much of the alum as I can, because that Boker 14er, that's a $500 razor. Last thing in the world I want to do is to get an alum stain on my $500 razor. That would just be heartbreaking. In fact, I'm going to pick up my razors using my towel and set them aside. Okay, there's that. Got the alum. Nope, wrong. There we go. Give it just a second to dry, and that gives me an opportunity to put away the alum block. All right, there's that. Now, we're going to use some Thayer's. We're going to use some Thayer's toner, facial toner. Witch hazel's really what it is. And we got some, what is it? I can't read the Sterling. We got some Sterling Executive Man Balm, aftershave balm, post-shave balm. And we're just going to use a little, first of all, I want that to dry. And so I took about that much. Now, I don't know the order, and I've never really paid much attention. You know, what comes first, the aftershave or the post-shave balm? I think it's a post-shave balm. You know, like first you do your Thayer's facial toner, or sometimes I got the sometimes I have the Lucky Tiger. followed by a balm. I've been using more balms here lately. And then I guess I'm going to use, I don't know what I'm going to use. Pinaud Bay Rum, Virgin Island Bay Rum. Oh, that feels good. Okay. And one more step, and I'll be done. And that is, I've been using powder here more lately as well. Pinaud Clubman powder, cornstarch powder. And I found this little wooden bowl, and I poured some into it, and I have my brush. Instead of pouring it into the brush and then it just becomes a big mess, I just dab the tips. Oh yeah, that's feeling nice. And I have very little mess on the countertop. Put the wood lid back on, good and secure. Put my brush in its rack. And that is it for the shave, for the refinements. And there we are. And I want to thank you for staying with me. Yeah, we're a little long, but I was moving slow and talking a little bit, so thanks for staying with me. I'll see you in a few days. See you down the road.